Good morning, everybody. I'm on my phone. I don't know what the hell is going on with my internet. So I'm operating off my phone this morning. I'm waiting to see if it comes back on. Oh, Jesus, help me this morning. Hello? I'm on my phone this morning. I can see the comments now. Morning, I'm Karen. Man, this is gonna be crazy this morning. My internet ain't working. I'm doing the show off my phone. I don't know what the hell is going on with my internet. So I'm hoping that it come back on. But we had storms last night, so I don't know what's going on. They talking about tornado warnings. Oh, excuse me. And it's crazy. Yeah, it still ain't on. Wow. Well, I'm gonna have to do it from my phone this morning. Ain't nothing I can do. Morning, Lee. Yeah, I don't have no internet this morning. Yep, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. This is gonna be a 1 hour show for sure. Ain't gonna be no overage on this. But it's Thankful Thursday. Yep. Blood Brother Mike. All right. I wish I could get you on. That way you can be talking with me. Let me see if I can get um see if I can send you a link. No, that ain't. No, I ain't punching no more buttons, y'all. That's it. I don't have no internet this morning. What's up, JB? This is crazy. We had some crazy weather last night, and I don't know why our internet is knocked out. We don't have no internet on the TV. We don't have nothing. I'm doing everything off the phone this morning. Hey, Frugal Mama. Yep, we having some issue. Well, I'm having some issues with the internet. We had storms last night, and I don't know what's going on with the internet, how long it's gonna be, but I still plan on doing the show with my phone. I had planned on talking about a few things that I had been jotting down in my little journal. about intentions and happiness and power and some spiritual stuff and universal principles and faith and how universal principle and some biblical principles are the same. Um, so, hey, morning, Ross. Hey, Joan. If somebody came on to sing, I couldn't even put them on because my internet ain't on. I'm not even on my computer. I'm doing this off my phone. So I don't even know how to bring guests on or anything. And I'm scared to touch any buttons because it keep knocking stuff out. Yep. So I was going to talk about some spiritual and universal principles and then touch on a few things on gardening. We had started yesterday. Hey, Yvette, good morning. Pimp Way. Yep. So I don't know. I guess I'll still read some of the stuff. At least I can see the comments. Hey, Sister Marvette, good morning. Yep. So uh shoot. This is so crazy, y'all. Ain't nothing I can do. But um let me get it started. I had wrote down some things that I thought was pertinent information from off of different sites, but I comprised it all together um, for myself. What is the best low maintenance plant? Uh, the best low maintenance plants would probably be. I got so much running through my mind. They don't take hardly no water. They're a cactus plant. Um, come on, Turk. I got it right on the tip of my tongue. Um, this a shame. That's what happened when I have so much on my plate that I'm thinking about. But they're small desert plants, and some of them get big, and you can water these plants once every 2 months. Succulents. Thank you, Frugal Mama. Appreciate it. I could not get that out of my mouth. And they have a whole bunch of different succulents, blood brother Mike. So if you want to put plants in your house, get you some succulents, man. They got a lot of them. Noose bomb, aloe veras, uh, green sedum. Uh, I can't think right now, y'all. I'm really mad because my upset. I'm not mad. I'm upset because my internet ain't working. And when you pay for something, you expect for your stuff to be working. I don't care if it is storm, but that's why they got maintenance crews. They should be out there fixing this stuff. Yep. The law of cause and effect and reap what you sow are the same principles. Yeah, it is. It's a whole lot of them. Yep. But before I go into these plants, snake plants. Never heard of snake plants. What? You must be talking about mother-in-law's tongue. The ones that grow straight up and they're variegated. They're green and white, or either green and yellow, and they grow straight up. I know what you're talking about, though, Joan. Yeah, and those are good to have in your house because they take in a lot of carbon dioxide and give off a lot of oxygen. but all plants are good to have in your house because they put oxygen in your house. At least the storm didn't take me out. Yeah, that's true. I'm happy about that. Me too. It didn't tear up the house. But let me get back to these principles I wanted to talk about. Yeah. I even wanted to talk more on Benjamin Banneker too, because yesterday I didn't really get a chance to finish it with all of the accomplishments this brother had. Um, and I went and did some more research too. And I found out that his parents were born slaves, but they didn't die slaves. They bought their freedom. And that's how he got a chance to be educated. Once he was like 8 years old, um, he was being taught. Hey, I be the same way, Turk, and I don't like being on by myself. This is Yvette talking to me, y'all. It's different trying to find things to chat about. Yeah, it is. Mother-in-law's tongue. Joan cracking up. Yeah, that's it. Oh man, you spoke on B&B yesterday. Yeah, I did on Benjamin Banneker. Yes, I did. And I was hoping you was on so you could talk to us about how stuff is mapped out in DC, how he laid that out, when he was doing the schematics for it. He used astronomy and Egyptian principles to lay it out. And I was talking about Hiram Abiff. I want to talk about him on his own, on his own, because he's so important. He was the master mason in Egypt that was in charge of the building the pyramids and the obelisks and mapping that out. So that's another story for another day. But today, I do want to do some more on this Benjamin Banneker, though. I got to tell that because I missed some of that information yesterday. When he was 8 years old, that's when he started getting formal education. And he was free. His parents were free. They purchased a farm. And he was a self taught astronomer, mathematician, um, and architect. And he was so good when he at designing stuff. He was making gears out of wood, and he made the first clock that kept time with movement. And for the United States, it was some in Europe, but his when he came up with his device, it changed the whole schematics of how to build a clock across the world. And I had mentioned yesterday they called the clock in London Big Business because he designed and helped build that clock. The Queen actually had him to do that. Or don't make me lie. I don't know if it was the king or the queen, one of because it might have been before the king had died. So I'm not sure. I would have to go and check that. But when he was 22 years old, that's when he built his first clock after he had been working on the design for years. But he built the first one at 22, and it was such a hit all over the world. It really gained him a lot of notoriety and popularity. And when he started getting into agronomy and noticed that it was a connection between the stars, the moon, the constellations, and then the growing cycles and the water cycles and patterns of eclipses and all of that stuff. um, when he started putting that together, that's when he created the Farmer's Almanac, and it was incredible. Um, the blood brother Mike say he wonder if the Queen called him Big Ben for other reasons. All right, that's what I needed a joke this morning. I appreciate that, blood brother Mike. Yep. Yep. It says, Jones said, "Sorry, you on my own, Turk. Been there, done that. It was very difficult and stressful for me, but you're doing great." Okay. See, it's nice to have love when you know stuff ain't going right, and then people still get behind you. So I appreciate it. Need all the love and help I can get this morning. But anyway, let me get back to Benjamin Banneker. And so when he started doing the farmers' almanacs, he had only did it and had passed it out to slaves that were working on plantations to help them and to make their job easier. Because once he had uh, logged all of the information in his first almanac, because he did six of them. The first one that he did, um, it enhanced the growth of his parents' farm so much that everyone in the state of Maryland wanted to know what he was doing and how he did it, and um, he even set up irrigation. Showed them how to set it up so that he would block it like a small dam and pump the water into an area and then open the floodgate, and then it would actually water the whole uh, garden on the farm, and then he would close it back off. And he was designing this for people who had farms, and so he was making good money. He was doing very well. He was a real learned brother, um, and he just really blew up after that Farmer's Almanac. Um, and the clock put him on the map. But this brother was quite intelligent, and he was well sought after. And he also wrote the first letter to George Washington um, for civil rights. It was the first letter ever sent to a president of the United States on civil rights, and I didn't know that. Um, he had wrote because everybody was honoring him because of the accomplishments that he had, and he was telling George Washington, how can you continue, with the mistreatment of Pan Africans and people that were um, slaves in the United States, thinking that they were inferior. He said when he had created and done such great things, for the country, he was explaining to George Washington that um, it was a lot more slaves that were smarter than people were giving them credit for, and had been doing things that the masters were taking credit for, but the slaves were the ones that were creating all of this stuff. So, so those farms that use water sprayers owe him credit. No, because he didn't use sprayers. Um, he used the method like the Chinese do for rice fields, and I don't know if they uh, got that idea from uh, Benjamin Banneker, or if they got that on their own merit. But the way they do it, it's like they have a stream and they divert the water to another area and block it. And then they cut trenches between what's growing in their fields, and then they open it so that it floods it. But then you can close it so it's not just constant water, so it doesn't drown the plants. but it could, you could water it. And when he did that, it really opened up because they were growing rice. I failed to mention that earlier. Their main crop was rice, so they needed a lot of water because water grows. I mean, rice grows in like a bog situation, so they need a lot of water, and so um, he really uh, did some great things when it came to agronomy with that the farmer's almanac because it told you when to plant, how deep to plant, the cycles of rain, how much it was like he was a weatherman. He could tell you, well, this year we're going to get a lot of rain, and he was doing it from knowledge that he got from being an astronomer. And so people didn't know that those things were connected in the Americas. They probably knew this information in Africa already because that's why they really wanted Africans to be slaves here because we didn't have to be taught on how to grow. We just had to be taught on how to grow the plants that they were growing here. Um, like a lot of the plants that they had in the Americas growing, they didn't have in Africa. There wasn't no corn in Africa. Corn was eventually integrated over to Africa, but it wasn't one of their staples. Um, Neither was potatoes. It was like yams and um, uh, maca and different roots and tubers and greens and bananas and a whole lot of stuff. But it was all indigenous to Africa. It wasn't indigenous to our country. But that's when Benjamin had sent that letter to President um, George Washington. George Washington read the letter and he was so impressed um, with what Benjamin Banneker had wrote to him. He actually confronted, other slave owners and was, trying to get them to um, allow slaves to be used. He wasn't gonna set them free because he had too many slaves. And you start talking about freeing the slaves back in George Washington days, they would have probably killed him like they did Lincoln. But he was trying to get them to allow slaves to use um, book knowledge and to learn to read and stuff like that. And he didn't want all of them to had this privilege, but it was going to be like certain slaves that you saw potential in to use them, to better their plantation. So it wasn't about freeing the slaves for him. He was trying to, okay, well, if they that smart, let's use them and make more money. But it never came to fruition. The slave owners was like, no, they didn't want their slaves learning to read, and plus it was part of the plan for white supremacy um, way back then because white supremacy is a global condition. It ain't an American condition, even though it's woven into the fabric of our country, but it's still worldwide and very active today, as it was back then. So I just wanted to get that out about Benjamin. I had missed talking about that yesterday, but now I want to talk about a few things from universal principle and biblical principles and how they correlate to each other and how um, that when you're talking about manifesting and universal principles, and then the only way that this stuff works as if you operate in the same principles as like in the Bible. You have to have faith in order for it to happen, and you have to um, believe in what you're having faith in, or else it doesn't happen. If you don't believe, you can say you have faith, but if you don't have it in your subconscious, it just don't happen. But I wanted to talk about happiness on this planet, um, as being one of the most sought after things on earth, because there's really nothing more important than the moment that we're living in right now. Because when you live in the past, it creates anxiety, and living in the future creates fear, the fear of the unknown. So you have to concentrate on the present, if you want to live a life, your life to the fullest, and put your faith in your intuition, and the universe will always lead you to the right direction. And it could be whatever you want to call, universe, or the source of all, or your God, whoever he is, Allah, Buddha, Hare Krishna, whatever religion you are. If you can't um, apply any of them without faith, and that's what moves your religions is your faith. Your faith activates it. It connects you to your uh, higher self, and to your God. And you know how people always say, "Oh, that's my conscience talking to me. I got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other." And that's um, your own insight. And it's like your conscience is your Godhead speaking to you, you know, and only you know who you worship, and I don't care what nobody say. People say, "Oh, I don't believe in God," but they believe in something. So um it's like it's to the point where people um don't want to believe in God because they have been tricked, and there's so much false information and stuff like that. So people get perturbed, and they like, well, forget it. I don't even want to, be bothered with this right now. But it's to the point where people are getting fed up with all of the lies, and everybody is seeking truth. Yep. So when you seek truth, you have to look everywhere. You have to turn over all the rocks. You just can't look in the Bible. You got to check uh, true history. Um, you had to go inside, and you had to meditate and go inside, because you want to have spiritual discernment. And so spiritual discernment activates everything. And so if you put your faith in your intuition, and the universe leads you the right direction, let your faith be bigger than your fears, and have faith in your success. And you can't see faith or fear, but you can decide which one controls your life. And no dream is too big when you understand abundance is a birthright. And to the two most important days of our lives are when you're born, and when you find out um, why um, you know your God put you on this planet. So Our future's realities depend on what we do in the present moment, and uh, we are the architects of our future. So we have to make every day count. Um, when you join in alignment, um, when it's more than one person, you know, it's a principle, just like the Bible say, when two or more are gathered in my name, I'm in the midst. Um, when you find people that are aligned with what you believe, then it activates the spirit. Because just because you're agreeing, and there's power in agreement, and finding people who are in alignment with you is one of our greatest treasures. Because imagine how many um, people like uh, what's the guy's name that was he was supposed to have been a genius, and he invented the bomb. Um, he was German, and they brought him to America. Albert Einstein. There we go. Yep. And so imagine you as smart as Albert Einstein, but oh, hey, Carlington, good morning. Too bad I can't get you on here this morning, man. I'm operating off my phone because my internet is out. So I had to use my phone. But that made me lose my train of thought when I seen Carlington. I got excited. Yeah, but finding people who are in alignment with what you believe in, and you agree and touch and agree on it, activates things in the universe. Yep. So when that happens, the more people that you get to agree with you, and you're all in alignment at the same time, it makes things manifest. That's how in the church they usher in the presence of God, because everybody is on the same page, and they're in agreement, and their intentions are the same. And your intentions are powerful. Your actions will be powerful um, if your actions are powerful. So the results in being powerful, intentions create powerful results. So, you know, you're in what you concentrate on and what you think about. Um, if you put intentions behind it, then that means you're doing things to accomplish or achieve an objective. And so that's what makes um, things come into fruition. That's how people get an idea. If it starts as an idea, and then once you get an idea, then you got to put intention behind it. And then once you put the actions and the intention behind the thought, that's what creates uh, product or um, knowledge, or whatever you're trying, whatever objective you're trying to achieve, or whatever product you're trying to make, or whatever you're trying to invent. You know, that's how it gets started. At first it's a thought, and it's actually uh, legit. Um, and logic sometimes really ain't good, because it blocks you from really using your full imagination. So it's like logic will get you from point A to point B, but imagination will take you anywhere. And so it's like, when you're using your mind, which is the most powerful thing on this planet, um, which is being squelched by the powers that be, because they don't want humans to know how powerful we are. Um, and so it's all about control and manipulation, and the same with with creating stuff. When you're doing something creative, you have to use your imagination in order for it to come to fruition. Because you're just when you're creating something, you have to think about what it is that you want to create, and then how do you go about doing it. How can I make this happen? How can I make this uh, look the way I want it to look? How can I make this work the way I want it to work? So it's kind of crazy. And when you use affirmations, it's like phone calls to the universe. Affirmations are kind of like prayers to the universe, because you're using biblical principles as well, because um, the it's power of life in the tongue, of life and death is in the tongue. That's a biblical principle. It's also a universal principle, because in order to make something manifest, you have to speak it. So that's why it's a lot of affirmations and stuff involved in it. And the more you set your intention and your imagination on what you're trying to achieve, um, the more likely you'll get an answer. It's like the Bible says, pray without ceasing. So, it's the same as when you're doing your affirmations. You have to do it without ceasing until it manifests. And so, I believe miracles are the way. When you believe in miracles, you manifest them. Never look down on anyone unless you're helping them up. And the higher you climb, the more people um, you can help up. And this when you help somebody, ain't no but better feeling when you're helping someone, which is actually a universal principle, because we're supposed to be living in this world together, because this is an experience that we're having, a human experience that we're having, and your soul is using this body for as an avatar. That's the best way that I could put it, where everybody would understand. This body that we have is actually an avatar, and so we have to take care of our avatars, and use it the way that it's supposed to be used for this human experience. And when you have love vibrating, ain't nothing like being in a room full of people where everybody is uh is happy with each other. Even if it's just two people in there that don't like each other, it throws the room off kilter, because you feel that pressure. If you know that these two are at odds with each other, then it creates pressure in the room, and it takes away from the feeling. But when you're in a situation where everybody in there feels good towards each other, and they feel good about who each other are and how they treat each other is very well. And say you're at a family reunion, ain't no better time at a family reunion when ain't nobody arguing or got no issues with each other. I mean, it just does something to your spirit. You know, it raises our level of humanity, and when you raise your level of humanity, it creates a euphoric feeling. So when you do something good for someone that needs help, and you help them, it feels better than when somebody gives you something, to help you. But it's just really interesting how universal principle and biblical principles work together. As for one cause. Yeah, but happiness can be made by thoughts in the moment, and happiness is really what life is all about. Because everybody, that's all that we really want, is just to be happy. And a person doesn't have to be um, super rich to be happy. You know, all we really need on to be happy is good health, people that love you, people that you love, um, and just the necessities. Because before we had uh, cars and televisions and all of the new electronic gadgets and the internet and all of that stuff, people were happy just being in nature. And it's the most natural and happiest feeling you can have. Ain't nothing like going to the beach, and you sitting out in the sand and the water's rushing up. It's a beautiful day. You got your feet in the water, you walking, and you with people that you love. You got your wife or your husband and your kids or your grandkids. You just surrounded by love and enjoying nature. It's just really a good feeling that you had. And if you notice, um, in the Bible, 9 times out of 10, when uh, Jesus was praying, he always was in somebody's garden, or he would go up in the mountains. He would get away from all the hustle and bustle of the city and get out into nature, because it's peaceful. And when you get out in the woods and you're not around a thousand humans and cars honking the horn and trucks and bus noises and construction sounds and all of that, and you can go somewhere and quiet your mind and just enjoy nature, what a beautiful feeling that is. I mean, you really uh, get to know what life is about when you really get out in the nature. And I think that's a problem for a lot of people. They don't ever come out of the city, so you always in the hustle and bustle, and worried about this bill and worried about that bill, and watching your back so don't nobody come and stick you up, bust you upside the head, or snatch a woman getting a purse snatched, and somebody trying to jack you for your car, or you got to go in a store and people following you around because they think you getting ready to steal. It's just always a bunch of a mess, you know when you're around a whole lot of people. But when you get out in nature and it gets quiet and you don't hear nothing but the birds chirping and the sound of a babbling brook, that water sounds. That's why they um have all of these channels now on YouTube that create sounds of nature for you to sleep to, because it's so peaceful. And so when it's peaceful like that, and you're in nature, it calms your mind. And when your mind is calm, it's good for your body. It makes good chemicals in your body. When you're under stress, stress creates chemicals in your body that are detriment uh to your health. And so a lot of times, we are in situations that create stress, and that in turn turns around and attacks your body. So when you can go out and get into peace and calm all that down, then it can repair your body. Just like stress attacks your body, peace and calm repairs your mind and your body. That's why people, when you get out in nature, you feel so good, and you don't even want to come. You don't. Well, this is just me. When I'm in nature, I don't even. I hate to come home. When I'm out fishing, you sitting on the fishing bank, and it's early in the morning, and you see that mist across the water, and you cast out in there, and you just sitting there waiting, and you watching the sun come up over the horizon of the water, and you see that light, and it starts to point at you, because wherever you're at, if that sun is on the other side of the water, it's going to create an angle to where that light is going to run straight to you. That sunlight is going to make a line. As it higher it gets, the closer it gets to you. And hey, busy mama, she say, I'm here in the background. Hey, one busy. That was Jonathan. Nature does feel good. Yes, it does. And I just wanted to touch on that for a while, because happiness, abundance, health, all of that is connected to peace and to nature. And it's something that uh, people that live in large cities need to take their kids and get out of the city. Let them get in nature and run around and play. Get out there and enjoy a big field. Where they don't have to worry about knocking nothing over, no cars running them over, no gunshots because you in some park, and you got gangs and stuff, that hang out in the parks and stuff like that. But if you go out into serious nature, you don't get all of that. And it's just so peaceful and so calming, and it makes you feel so good. Um, it gives you strength to be able to be around all the hustle and the bustle and confusion of a big city, and of an urban area. Yeah, but that was just a few of the thoughts I was having, and I had jotted down a lot of this stuff. Um, and I just wanted to put some of this stuff out there, since I'm here all by myself today, and I really uh, don't have anyone to piggyback off of, or anybody to piggyback off of me. But like Lee says, her brother talks about how good it feels to be, and how peaceful it is to be in the woods. And Rodney, Lee's brother, he's in the woods whenever he can get away. He's out there. Even he's a hunter. He loves to hunt, but he don't kill nothing that he don't eat. Anything, if he shoots something, he's taking it home. He's gonna field dress it. He's gonna cut it up. He's gonna put it in the freezer, and he's gonna use it for food. And if you out hunting, you shouldn't be out hunting just so you could put a head or have something, take it to a taxidermist to display in your house. That's crazy. Why would you want to display, God's creatures in your house like that. Now if you're using it for food, that's different, you know, because you're not wasting a life. And all life is precious, no matter what it is, and that's where humanity got to step in and realize that all life is precious, and the Creator created everything with life. If the Bible says, "Let everything with breath worship Him," you know that includes the animals because they breathe, and so do plants. Even though they don't take in oxygen, they breathe carbon dioxide, and it's alive. And so it's just a thing where we're all connected: the plants, the animals, us, the dirt, the water, everything. Because when this body um, perishes, when we perish and our bodies break down, it goes right back into nitrogen. Yep. And when it goes back into nitrogen, um, it's part of the soil, and those nutrients will be used to bring life to something else. Um, but whenever plants or animals or anything dies, when it starts to break down, in the process of it breaking down, is creating life as well. So it's not like it's not a cycle. It's a cycle. Everything is connected. Like our bodies, we're like 75, 80 something percent water. I'm not sure of the percentage, but we are uh, a lot of water, and we can't survive without it. And it's oxygen in the water, and water is alive because it does have consciousness. Because if you speak to something and it changes its form, it's got to be hearing or absorbing what you're saying. And this is a scientific fact. If you take a bottled water and you speak life and pleasantries and love over it, when you do that, that water's molecular structure changes. So if you look at water before you say anything over it, and you look at the structure of the water through a microscope, then it looks one way. When you speak positivity and love and all of that over it, it changes the molecular structure of the water, and it looks like snowflakes. And snowflakes, if you look at them under a microscope, are beautiful. And so this water really gets beautiful. But if you take that same bottle of water and you speak negative, you speak death, you speak hate, and all of that over that water, and you look at the molecular structure, and it's ugly. It's not like a snowflake. It's it has patterns um, that look uh, like they're, you know, it looks like how you speak of it. It looks like it's dead. The color of the water will change. It turns brown, and eventually it'll be so ugly um, to the point where you'll know with your naked eye that those negative words actually change um, the structure of that water. And this was done by Chinese scientists. So this is true. That's a true fact that water will change. So it's got to have some type of consciousness. So I was reading, and I was reading on Aboriginal Indians of America. And the Indians like to go and get in the water and then pray, because they say those prayers that you release in the water absorbs your prayers, and everybody knows water evaporates. So when the evaporation process happens, your prayers are in that water and it's lifted into the atmosphere, and the atmosphere um, absorbs that moisture when it goes up into the clouds. It's sending your prayers into the heaven. And that's how they were thinking on that situation. And I was like, wow, how cool is that? You know. So now whenever I go fishing, if it's nice outside, I'll take my shoes and socks off and put my feet in the water and pray. And uh, especially um, if I'm at an ocean, because those are huge bodies of water. And to put your prayers in the ocean and then let that be sent up to the heavenlies, you know, that's pretty incredible to me. Yep. So I really enjoy doing that and putting some of those principles to work. Yep. But let me see here. Let me see. Vitality, abundance, positivity. They are all um, choices which we'll choose to help us to move forward. And we have to eliminate all the things that don't help us to change to become our best versions. So, in order to help ourselves evolve, into the beings that we need to be, some of these principles, and a lot of these principles have to be put into actions. Yep. So, if you want different results from what you're having, um, choose only the things that help you evolve into what you're trying to be. Like, it's a waste of time if you want to be a gardener, but you're putting a concrete slab in your backyard and you need green space. So, you have to do things according to what's good for you. And the only things uh, that help people to evolve, that you associate with, um, is that you're on the same accord. Like, it's hard if you a vegan and everybody else around you is not even vegetarian. They're just um, eating meat and barbecue and all of this stuff, and this is stuff that you used to do. So it kind of stresses you out, because that what harm the meat does to bodies and all of that stuff. It's not a electric food. This is just an example. I ain't got nothing against people who eat meat, because I'm a flesh eater myself. You know, um, and it's just uh, how important is it to you, to live a certain way. And if you it used to be at a point, meat didn't really affect our bodies the way it is now. It's not the meat that's the problem. It's the way that they're raising this meat. You know, Even the farm raised fish. Why would you feed them pig feces? That's crazy. You got a catfish farm, and instead of feeding them grain, or you could um, get freeze dried worms and stuff like that. They found it to be cheaper to buy pig feces because it's something that farmers want to get rid of, and now it's creating a revenue for them. So hog farmers are saving the feces to sell, and it's just crazy what they do to our foods here in America and feed it to us. But things have changed. Eventually, people start, saying, "Hey, well, I'm not eating that no more," and start backing up off of stuff like 5 days a week. Uh, I'm trying to get back into uh, pescatarian lifestyle because I'm trying to ease my way away from meat and just living a healthier lifestyle and try to increase my activities and just trying to feel better and live a little longer, because I do want to see my grandkids grow up and all of that. You know, it's just um, something, that people want to achieve. Longevity has its place. Yeah, but I have talked nonstop for 1 hour and 1 minute, and I'm getting ready to run up off of here. And Busy Mama did say, "Yep, be careful um, with ingredients and no meat." And Rosalind Cook said hi, and Carlington said hi, and Rosalind says, "As a practicing, I can't even say these words. Nigerian Dashonian Buddhist. Every morning, water is placed on my altar before I recite my morning prayer." Wow, I never knew that. Now that's worth me staying on to listen. Yep. That now uh today I want to announce T probably will be off again next week. So hopefully I can get some people to come on, and co-host with me. One, come on and we'll talk about some pick, have a subject and come on and talk about it because I need some help here. Yep. And Busy Mama said Jesus was a vegetarian. Many people did not eat meat all the time. Yep. And yeah, most of your monks in China, a lot of those guys don't eat meat, and especially the ones like in Nepal, the Dalai Lamas and all of them, they don't eat any flesh either because they say the flesh blocks you from being able to connect with your higher self the way you should, because it's something in our DNA when you eat flesh um, that it blocks the sensors um, that are part of the seat of the soul of your pineal gland. And so your diet is very important, you know, um, for what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to be enlightened and uh, you're trying to get downloads from the universe or from the creator, you know, when you don't eat flesh and you don't eat a lot of sugary stuff and foods that aren't health healthy for you, then it does have an effect on your body and your um, spirituality as well. Yep, it clears. Busy mama says, it clears your mind and your arteries, and that's right, exactly where I was going. It's kind of like poison. We just have to culturally adapt it to being normal, which it's not, for sure. Sorry for the misspelling trying to type fast. I can still understand what you were saying. Yep. Frugal, Frugal Mama laughing at me because I said baby mama. Yep. And Rosalind say that's true, busy mama. And I was looking up looking up the Mediterranean diet for a client, and it's good. Not sure if I can adopt uh, all just yet. That's one busy mama saying that. And Carlington said he heard me say baby mama too. It was just a slip of the tongue. Busy mama is married with children, and they're not mine. They're her husband's. Cause I don't need to pay no more child support. I'm done. My kids is grown. All of them. Yep. All of my kids are in their 30s now. And my grandkids are starting to become teenagers. So I just want to keep living so I can see them become adults. Look at Busy Baba crazy too talking about they are not mine. LOL. Thanks for clarifying. Ah, well, folks, I'm getting ready to get off of here because I'm on my phone. The internet still ain't up. I'm getting ready to call and get on the phone with these people. I know they're gonna have me on there for an hour if I could get through. But thanks for staying on, everybody. I appreciate it. I hope we did uh, get a few things out here that is useful in our conversation today. Um, but I'm getting ready to get off of here. So reach back and give back. You know, if you see somebody that need a smile, a hug, a couple of dollars, a sandwich, something to drink, oh, some love, just share yourself, share some of your provisions. If you got some old clothes, you know, and you see somebody and they need some help, you know, like the Bible say, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, try to help if you see somebody sick, you know. And I've never heard of anybody giving a homeless person cough drops or medicine, but I'm pretty sure that homeless people get sick too. That's for sure. So everybody take care. Boss Lady Denise, thank you for coming on. Thank you, Joan. And can y'all hopefully find us some folks to come on and sing, lift every voice and sing for this $100 and to like and subscribe to the show. And if you're wanting to sing yourself and you're already a subscriber to the show, there is a $50. Oh, excuse me. There is a $50 prize for that, and $100 for people who subscribe to come on and sing. And you don't have to sing the whole song, just a verse. Just let people hear your voice, and we're gonna have some people judging it. You don't have to come on and sing like BB or CC Winans or nobody or Luther Vandross. Just come on and sing and have fun, and that's about it. So everybody have a good day. Stay safe. Be careful. Um, Peace. I'll see everybody tomorrow. I'm out of here.